The entire Ganwu Universe Country Genius team heard the distant discussions of the geniuses from the other universe countries. Many of them were filled with hatred within. To be able to make it into the top 1,000 of the Ganwu Universe Country, which of them weren't absolute geniuses, favored by the heavens? And right now it was obvious that the geniuses from the other universe countries only cared about Savage Rongjun, and didn't care about the others. Madman, did you hear that? The other universe countries only know of our Ganwu Universe Country's Rongjun. The green-haired youth walked beside Luo Feng and said softly. This green-haired youth was the absolute genius Windmill who battled with Luo Feng during the elimination back in the same city. Windmill was luckier than Luo Feng in the arena battles. He won 4 battles consecutively and earned his spot. Luo Feng was very calm. Following the team forward, he said softly, Windmill, don't blame the others. Rongjun is indeed strong. The green-haired youth nodded. I know too, I've heard about it. This savage Rongjun's strength is enough to make it into the universe's top 10. And for us, to even make it into the universe's top 1,000 is very hard. Overall top 1,000? Luo Feng squinted. At this time, the Ganwu Universe Country Genius team had already followed the scale armored giant into skyscraper 0825. This skyscraper's first level was very wide, enough to hold up to 1,000 people. Rumble. That powerful pressure appeared once again, pressuring the 1,000 geniuses, causing Luo Feng and the others to turn and look at the largest scale armored giant. That scale armored giant retracted his pressure and said coldly, Here, there are numbers 1 to 1,000. You all take your number and enter your rooms. That is where you rest and live. Following which, the scale armored giant waved his hand. The number plates floated down and landed before each person. Savage Rongjun extended his hand and grabbed the number plate. There was only one number. 1. Luo Feng too extended his hand and grabbed the number plate. There was only one number. 2. The 1,000 geniuses all grabbed their number plates. You are free to disperse. You can sleep and rest in your rooms, or head to the plaza to interact with the geniuses from the other universe countries. The scale armored giant scanned the 1,000 geniuses, saying coldly, When the sky gets dark, the virtual universe company's organizer will gather all of you. No matter where you are in this space, you'll be able to hear the notification. After saying that, the scaled armored giant strode out. Only then did the 1,000 geniuses from the Ganwu Universe Country let out a sigh of relief. They split into groups of 3 to 5, each holding their number tags, either chatting or finding their own rooms. The central square surrounded by 1,008 buildings was very large. Even if there were millions of people in the square, it would not be crowded at all. Moreover, flowers, plants, and some ornamental animals could be seen everywhere around the square. There were also large restaurants randomly scattered on the square. There were a total of 99 restaurants, however the geniuses from the universe countries could enter any of the other restaurants, except restaurant number 1. Boom. The scaled armored giant turned into a stream of light and landed in front of restaurant number 1. My lord. The waiter at the entrance of the restaurant bowed respectfully. The scale armored giant directly walked in. There were more than 1,000 seats on the first floor of the restaurant, and there were already more than 100 great existences here. 13. 13 is here. Their auras were either filled with killing intent, or even more berserk than a star, or so cold that it could freeze one's soul. All sorts of auras that would cause one's heart to palpitate faintly emanated from them. These mighty existences were casually sitting there. It was almost as though they had formed their own world, and the surrounding space seemed to be under their control. The scaled armored giant nodded like a brave god general. He immediately sat down. 13. I heard your Ganwu Universe Country has produced a genius called Rongjun? Your luck is not bad. It's alright. The scaled armored giant wasn't humble at all. Luo Fu, your universe country has produced a genius called Blood Axe, right? The white-robed man with a face full of smiles that made one feel as though they were facing a spring breeze smiled. Right, there is such a genius. His style is very similar to yours. 13. 13. This time your Ganwu Universe Country might have 2 geniuses make it into the top 1,000, right? Not far away, a tall and big bald man with golden skin shouted. The other one seems to be a punk called Luo Feng. His strength is still not enough. The scaled armored giant shook his head. Sai Fu La, right now everyone is saying that your Noah Universe Country will get number 1. That youth from Noah Universe Country is very strong. Just a star level, and his comprehension of the space origin laws has already reached such a level, it's simply unbelievable. A group of great beings discussed. These beings were all sent by the leaders of their respective universe countries. For such a pinnacle gathering of the universe countries, the Undyings they sent were all extremely powerful even amongst the Undyings. Just like 13, he was one of the 18 god generals under the Ganwu Universe Country leader. His name was awe-inspiring, a being that had been famous for trillions of years. Skyscraper 0825, room number 2. This room was extremely spacious. For example, a bed was 10 long and 6 wide. Maybe some genius's body was huge, hence the room was prepared this way. Naturally, this room that was close to 1,000 square meters was still huge to Luo Feng. Let's go out and take a look. Let's see the absolute geniuses from the various universe countries. LuoFeng's eyes were filled with intense anticipation. He had no hope of making it into the top 1,000? That scaled armored giant's words were obviously based on his performance during the loser battles. However, from the end of the loser battles till now, the Mosha Clansman had been training hard in absolute space. His 3 bodies, the golden horned beast, the Mosha Clansman and his earth body hadn't relaxed at all. Until now. His own strength had already risen at a shocking rate. Even though he could already defeat Savage Rong Jun in the slaughter space simulation. However, from that battle till now it's already been over 4 years. I can improve so much, others can naturally improve too. These 4 years, how much has Savage Rong Jun improved? Who knows? Luo Feng thought. What's more, when he fought me back then, he didn't even have the time to unleash his blade techniques. 1008 universe countries, geniuses are as common as the clouds. I'll try my best. Let's see how far Luo Feng can go. Luo Feng thought. After waiting patiently for over 4 years, this gathering of the absolute geniuses from the 1008 universe countries was the time for him to reveal his true strength. Luo Feng walked out of his room and left the skyscraper with the other geniuses from the Ganwu universe country, heading towards the plaza. The plaza was even bigger than a city on Earth. However, these absolute geniuses were all star level 9, with a glance they could see 100 kilometers away. When the group of geniuses from the Ganwu universe country entered the plaza. Look, Rong Jun. It's Rong Jun. I heard he has the power to make it into the top 10. He's a very strong punk, his comprehension of the Earth and space origin laws are very high, let's hope we don't meet him. Many of the youths from the other universe countries were discussing. This made the other geniuses from the Ganwu universe country who were with Savage Rong Jun feel uncomfortable. Naturally they dispersed after reaching the plaza. Luo Feng and the green-haired youth Windmill walked together. Luo Feng, look. The green-haired youth pointed at an absolute beauty in the distance dressed in a white feather robe. That lady was almost like a legendary angel from Earth. On her back were 2 wings and there was a crystal in between her eyebrows. She's called AI Chin from the Dream Shell race. She has the power to make it into the top 10. Her nickname is Light Blade. She's extremely terrifying. Luo Feng looked at the seemingly untainted Dream Shell race lady. Light Blade AI Chin. Luo Feng swept his gaze across the plaza. Before this, he had naturally gathered information. Even though he couldn't gather any detailed information, he knew of the most famous people. It's him. Luo Feng looked at the distant black-robed skinny man that was about 2.3 m tall. He heard people discussing beside him. That's the hypnotist Jiao Laishi. He's from the Howling God clan from the Penghu Universe Country Genius Battle. It said that he didn't even make a move from start to finish, just looking at his opponents once and they all fell into illusions and died. He's an extremely terrifying hypnotist. He can definitely make it into the top 10. Walking in the plaza, he discovered many absolute geniuses from their universe countries that were known as the top geniuses. Even though they were the top in their respective universe countries within the 1008 universe countries, there were only about 20 that could make it into the top 10. After all, strength was strength, one still had to rely on one's state of mind etc., and since they hadn't fought before there was no way to confirm. However, Luo Feng had seen the recordings of the top 20 before. Conclusion. None of them were weaker than Rong Jun. 2 of them were even more terrifying than Rong Jun. Manka Prince. Luo Feng looked at the silver-clothed youth in the distance. His eyes were filled with fervor and fighting spirit. He was also recognized as an absolute genius that could make it into the top 10. It's been a very very long time since the young generation on Manka Planet hasn't had such an outstanding genius. One genius after another made Luo Feng's fighting spirit burn. Powerful. This was the gathering of the absolute geniuses from the 1008 universe countries. Just from the surface alone, there were about 20 that could match up to Rong Jun. What's more, there might even be some who were hiding their strength. Just like Savage Rong Jun back when he battled Luo Feng, he didn't want to reveal his space origin laws. If he didn't reveal it in that battle, who would know that Rong Jun had such strength? One theory. 1008 universe countries, over 1 million geniuses, there were definitely more than 20 absolute geniuses in the open and in the dark. Just like Luo Feng, he too had the strength to make it into the top 10, yet no one knew that he was an absolute genius hidden in the dark. Luo Feng creased his eyebrows. Silence. The entire plaza went silent. Hundreds of thousands of geniuses from the universe countries all turned to look in one direction. Luo Feng too turned to look, only to see a white-clothed youth walking out from a distant skyscraper. He was handsome yet expressionless. His entire being was like an ice mountain, carrying a blood-red long blade on his back. Walking towards the plaza, his cold gaze swept across the hundreds of thousands of absolute geniuses. However, there was no ripple. Death God Bolan. The undisputed #1 in the overall rankings. Finally, all sorts of discussions resounded throughout the plaza. At the same time, the black-robed Howling God youth, that absolutely beautiful Dream Shell clan lady, that Manka Prince dressed in battle armor, that savage who seemed like even the heavens couldn't crush him, that huge blood-red axe on his back, that fat man at least 6 m tall squinted his eyes, the green-haired youth with the peculiar green engravings on his face. Everywhere in the plaza, the absolute warriors at the forefront of the million geniuses, all stared at the white-clothed youth with the blood-red long blade on his back. Amongst these warriors of course included Luo Feng. Death God. Luo Feng stared at the distant silhouette, muttering, Death God Bolan? Death God Prin was the most unbelievable absolute genius from the 1008 universe countries in this year's genius battle. Even in the previous genius battles, it had been a very very long time since such a monster had appeared. From the information I've gathered, this Death God Bolan has produced hundreds of images before. This is unbelievable. Luo Feng looked at the distant white-clothed youth with a blood-red long blade on his back. He was very clear within. he was far from being a match for this Death God Bolan who had long since been recognized as the number one. According to the level of the 10,000 thread flow. The third level 100 thread. The fourth level, 10,000 thread, was already the highest level of the 10,000 thread technique. The legendary teleportation was after all just a legend. And this Bolan's display of power was obviously close to the fourth level. He was already so powerful at the star level. Just look at the top 10 absolute geniuses from the previous genius battles, almost all of them were stronger than Savage Rongjun. However, they weren't as powerful as this. Death God Bolan, he was simply too powerful. Even a sector lord being. Even the hardest space origin laws to comprehend, to reach the fourth level of the 10,000 thread was 1 in a million. Sector lords were 1 in a million, one could imagine that a mere star level punk was already so terrifying. No wonder even before the genius battles began, many undying beings had already confirmed that this white-clothed youth was without a doubt the number one of the genius battles. How did he train? Just how did he train? Luo Feng creased his eyebrows. I've relied on the Mosha Clansman to train, and I've only broken through to the 1-thread level. I'm still a long way from the 9-thread level. After all, the space origin laws? Those are the two most difficult laws to comprehend along with the time origin laws. Big brother. A beautiful young lady with long flowing green hair, naturally curled, with green engravings on her face said softly, "He's the Death God Bolan? The one teacher thinks we have no chance of defeating him?" Beside, a similarly green-haired youth with engravings on his face nodded, staring hard at the distant white-clothed youth. That's him, a star level, yet he's comprehended the space origin laws to such a high level, a monster. Even in the past million years, the number one of the genius battles hasn't been this powerful. However, Qian Shui. The young man lowered his head to look at the girl beside him. Although we are not Death God Prin's opponent, but the overall second and third place, us siblings must get it. Qian Shui understands. The young girl nodded. This pair of brother and sister were the peerless geniuses from the mysterious Augustus planet who were equally famous in this year's genius battle. In the vast universe, some planets were very mysterious or extremely famous. For example, Manka planet, Augustus planet, Matriarch planet. These planets all possessed unparalleled strength that made people's hearts tremble. He could easily send out a group of undyings. Such a planet could definitely be called the core of a universe country. The Manka planet was one of the two cores of the Savage Universe country. In the central square, hundreds of thousands of geniuses couldn't help but look at the white-clothed young man. This caused the white-clothed young man to frown slightly, and he directly entered a restaurant. Phew. He is Death God Prin. I really don't know how he cultivated. No matter how powerful his bloodline is, it shouldn't be so abnormal. I suspect that he is not human at all. The sounds of discussion could be heard everywhere in the square. In the central square where hundreds of thousands of geniuses were gathered, within restaurant number 1. As time passed, the leaders of the 1008 universe countries' genius teams, the great undyings, all came to this restaurant number 1. Be it on the first or second floor, they were all casually chatting. This youth called Bolan, he's only a star level, yet his comprehension of the space origin laws is so strong. Who knows, in 100 years, he might even become a space knight. Space knight? That's too much. Becoming a space knight is still far away. How many undyings have trained for trillions of years and still can't become a space knight? He's still far from it. Ichim, how can a space knight be so easy to become? Difficult, difficult, difficult. Even his body can teleport through space and he's still far from it. Much less become a space knight. The flattery is too much. Our 1008 universe countries, it's been so long since a new knight has appeared. Even though that youth is a rarely seen figure in the past genius battles, however, a genius is a genius. If you say he can become a powerful undying comparable to us, I agree. However, to become a space knight, it's simply too. Almost as though the space knight, these 4 words struck a chord in the large group of powerful undyings, all of them objecting. Haha, what are you all discussing? It's so lively. A loud voice resounded throughout the first and second floor of restaurant number 1. Immediately the undyings on the first floor all turned to look. Only to see at the entrance of the restaurant, a green-robed man dressed very normally, his features handsome, his head covered in purple scales, his eyes filled with a smile. He stood there, almost as though he didn't exist, almost as though he wasn't in the same space and time as the other undyings. Rumble. The hundreds of undyings on the first floor all stood up, including the scale-armored giant 13, all bowing in respect. Knight. The hundreds of undyings bowed. This time, my virtual universe company has organized the genius battles. All of you universe countries have given your support. I represent the virtual universe company to express our gratitude. The green-robed purple-scaled man smiled. This is what we should be doing. From first to second floor, undyings' voices resounded. The green-robed purple-scaled man smiled and nodded. You all continue chatting, in a while I'll gather those youths. Finishing, the green-robed purple-scaled man turned and left. Once he left, the hundreds of undyings on the first floor, as well as the undyings that walked down from the second floor, began to discuss. It's actually the 9-Blade Knight. I heard he's recently been in a universe secret region within the automaton territory. I didn't expect him to host this genius battle. Speaking of which, hundreds of thousands of years ago, the 9-Blade Knight was still a star level. He too participated in the genius battle. At that time he was the number 1 of that batch. The knight brought shock and awe to all the universe countries back then. He wasn't any weaker than this youth called Bolan. So what if he's talented? Just the path to undying is filled with obstacles. Large numbers of sector lords have fallen at the final door. That Bolan, to even reach undying, he has to go through many trials and tribulations, much less the Space Knight, which is millions of times harder. These undyings were all sighing. All of them had extremely high authority in their respective universe countries. They were all top-notch figures under the command of the universe country leaders. Some planets and stars they could destroy with a flip of their hands. However, if one could become a knight, that would already have the power to occupy a huge starfield and build a universe country. With a wave of the Space Knight's hand, the stars would shift and space would change. The so-called planets were like marbles before them. Evening. Luo Feng, who was drinking in one of the restaurants in the plaza, suddenly a voice invaded his consciousness. All participants from the 1008 universe countries, gather in the plaza. Luo Feng subconsciously stood up. Not just him, all the geniuses in the restaurant stood up. The 1008000 geniuses, whether they flew in from the sky or from the skyscrapers, or from the edges of the plaza, they all gathered. Over 1,000,000 geniuses all did the same. In just a moment, the 1008000 geniuses formed a large team and stood in the plaza. After which, the 1,000,000 geniuses all woke up. What's going on? Luo Feng was shocked awake. What's going on? Why am I here? I was still in my room earlier. The entire team of over 1,000,000 geniuses were all shocked. Even the Death God Bolan had a look of shock on his face. And at this time, in front of the formation stood 1008 undyings. These undyings naturally emitted their pressure. The pressure of over 1,000 powerful undyings instantly caused the entire formation of over 1,000,000 people to quieten down. Not a single one dared to make a sound. Welcome to our virtual universe company's pinnacle genius battle. A warm voice resounded in everyone's ears. Everyone looked over in shock. Suddenly, a man with purple scales on his head and wearing a green battle robe appeared in the empty space in front of him. He had a smile on his face. However, standing in midair, he seemed like an ancient god king. That natural aura he emitted made the millions of youths involuntarily submit to him. Also, even though they could see the green-robed man in the distance with their naked eyes, it made the geniuses feel almost as though this great being was in a different space from them. That disordered space and time feeling made them feel very uncomfortable. 1008 universe countries, every universe country selecting 1,000, a total of over 1,000,000 geniuses. The green-robed man stood in mid-air, gazing down at the millions of geniuses, his voice warm. Our virtual universe company will choose the strongest 1,000 amongst you and absorb them into our virtual universe company's core. The 1,000,000 of you will fight for these 1,000 spots. The rules are as follows. Tomorrow, all of you will enter a training space. Our virtual universe company has prepared over 1,000,000 training spaces for you, one for each person. Within the training space there are a total of 7 towers. Every training tower has 7 floors. You will start from the first tower after you've passed all 7 levels of the first tower, then the second tower, all the way until you die and are kicked out of the training space. According to your results in the training space, you will be awarded points. First to 100th in points, there's no need for further selection. You will be directly absorbed into our virtual universe company as a core member, obtaining 100 spots. 101st to 7,300th, these 7,200 will fight in the arena to fight for the 900 spots. As for those below 7,300th, they will all be eliminated. The green-robed man's words caused the millions of geniuses below to be stunned. This time there were a total of 1008000 people. Meaning just one training space would eliminate over 1,000,000 people. That mysterious being representing the virtual universe company left after a simple announcement. Even though Luo Feng and the others were suspicious, they could only return to skyscraper 0825 to rest. Dawn of the second day. Everyone please prepare yourselves, we will begin the mass teleportation soon, sending all participants to their respective training spaces. A clear and melodious voice resounded throughout the entire space. All the geniuses within the 1008 skyscrapers had long woken up, awaiting the start of the elimination. First elimination then the final battles. However, in terms of cruelty, obviously the elimination training was more shocking. Good luck. Work hard. In skyscraper 0825's first level hall, many of the geniuses from the Ganwu universe country wished each other well. It was too cruel, the first wave had already eliminated over 1,000,000 people. Out of the 1,000 geniuses present, the number still remaining probably didn't exceed 2 hands. Madman good luck. Windmill good luck. Luo Feng and the green-haired youth Windmill encouraged each other. Suddenly, rumble. A formless peculiar energy descended upon the entire space, causing all the 1008000 geniuses to be instantly teleported away. As for the undyings within the space and the restaurant staff etc., they weren't affected at all. This was a huge, rectangular meteorite with a length of nearly 100 kilometers, suspended in the starry sky of the universe. Shwa. Luo Feng appeared on the meteorite, looking around. In the distance there were tiny stars, and not too far away from him were normal planets without life. He couldn't help but exclaim, the virtual universe has constructed over 1,000,000 training spaces. Just one of them can be so realistic. On this meteorite floating in the universe, there were 7 training towers. Every tower was like a huge mountain, with a height of over 10 kilometers and a perimeter of a few kilometers. The 7 trial towers occupied different locations on the giant meteorite. Luo Feng lowered his head to look at his wrist. On it was a screen, just like the Ganwu Universe Country's elimination. Participant, Luo Feng, Ganwu Universe Country. Points, 0. Rank, none. Training space, number 027938. Within the training space, there were a total of 7 towers. Every tower had a total of 7 levels. The first tower, every level could only give a maximum of 10,000 points. Completing all 7 levels would give a maximum of 70,000 points. The second tower, every level could give a maximum of 100,000 points. Completing all 7 levels would give a maximum of 700,000 points. In the fourth trial tower, each floor could give a maximum of 10 million points. Completing all 7 levels would earn a maximum of 70 million points. In the seventh trial tower, each floor could give a maximum of 10 billion points. If he succeeded in all 7 levels, he would get a maximum of 7 billion points. Note, once you die, the trial ends. There were 2 ways to clear each floor. The first was to kill all the targets on this floor and obtain the highest points, which would then teleport you to the next floor. 2. If you are unable to kill all of your targets, you will be teleported to the next floor if you are still alive after 10 days. When all the participants were dead, the trial ended. To determine the final ranking. Below is the ranking list. How crazy! Luo Feng looked at the screen and couldn't help but to shake his head. All dead, the trial ends. What does it mean? It means that it is impossible for anyone to pass through all 7 training towers. Clearly, the Tower of Trials was very difficult. The Virtual Universe Company had the confidence to kill all the participants. It's quite similar to the Ganwu Universe Country's elimination. However, this time, it was only in a single world, and it was a world that was separated from the Ganwu Universe Country. And this time, it's a gathering of all the pinnacle geniuses from the 1008 universe countries. The strong are as numerous as the clouds. If you rank below 7,300, you'll be immediately eliminated. Luo Feng creased his eyebrows as he pondered. Very obviously, the first tower should be easier. The further one goes, the harder it gets. This says that there are 2 ways to pass each level. One is to kill all the targets and teleport. The second is to persevere for 10 days. When that happens, it'll automatically teleport. Luo Feng's eyes gleamed. Doesn't that mean I can stay at most 10 days in each level? A training tower has 7 floors. Then I can stay at most 70 days in each tower. Luo Feng couldn't help but reveal a look of glee. That's great, this way the 5 towers will have a year's worth of time. What did he lack the most right now? The golden horned beast broke through to the universe level. Only then did its talent explode. Only then did it begin to comprehend its domain and begin to study the gold origin laws. And the Mosha Clansman, it was just born in October last year. It hasn't even been a year since it started training. If he had another year, he would definitely be stronger. Right. I'll do it that way. Luo Feng made his decision. I won't rush forward at the start. I'll let the Mosha Clansman in reality train hard and let my strength constantly rise. The higher my strength is, then I'll definitely walk further in the training space, when that time comes. Maybe my initial ranking will be very low. However, there's no rush. The most important thing is the final ranking. I'll shock the world with a single feat. Luo Feng laughed. Luo Feng became a beam of light and flew to the first tower. That 10 kilometers tall tower had a sign on the entrance pillar. It was the first tower. Luo Feng's spirit weapon and armor were all prepared and he entered the first tower. The moment he entered, the words on Luo Feng's screen changed. First tower, first level. 10,000 ferocious beasts, hairy blood mammoths. Every time you kill a ferocious beast, you'll get 1 point. Killing all of them will give you 10,000 points and you'll be teleported to the second level. If you don't kill them all and survive for 10 days, you'll be teleported to the second level. If you die, the training will end. At the edge of the screen, there was a timer counting down. Obviously, the moment the 10 days were up, he would be teleported. Just as I thought. Luo Feng smiled. Then let's begin. In reality, solar system Mars. A 10 long golden horned beast raised its head and let out an excited howl. After which it immediately transformed into many golden horned beast images and continued to study the absolute space technique. As the darling of space, the Mosha Clansman, studying the technique was a form of enjoyment. This feeling was simply too wonderful. Virtual universe. In the center plaza, there were 1008 undyings, casually sitting around. The training space eliminations weren't broadcasted to the entire universe. Only the ranking changes were announced to the public. And only the final arena battles would be broadcasted to the public. However, the undyings from the various universe countries had the authority to view every participant's training situation. This Bolan, he's indeed vicious, rushing to number 1 the moment he arrived. So fast, this Bolan's points rise is shocking. He's far ahead of number 2. 13. Your Ganwu Universe Country's Rong Jun isn't bad either. He's currently at number 12. The 1008 powerful undyings could easily see the rankings and watch the training situation. Right now they represented their respective universe countries. Naturally they all hoped for their own universe country geniuses to shine brightly. Only then would they have face. For these existences that had lived for eternity, face and dignity were very important. Not bad. The scale-armored giant nodded, sitting in the wide chair, looking at the screen before him. Rong Jun. He immediately opened Rong Jun's current training stream. The savage young man was barefooted. His footsteps were strange and shockingly fast. He held a saber in his hand and wantonly cut a three-eyed lion-like monster that had wings and fur all over its body, the fierce beast Fei Wu. The scale-armored giant's face revealed a rare smile. Oh? He creased his eyebrows, his killing intent leaking out. This Luo Feng? He actually didn't notice Luo Feng's name at the top of the rankings. From what he felt, this Luo Feng could at least make it to the top 10,000. After which he opened his Ganwu Universe Country name list. With a glance he saw Luo Feng's name. Luo Feng, Ganwu Universe Country. Rank? 10068891. This made the scale-armored giant's eyes reveal his killing intent. This little idiot, what is he doing? The scale-armored giant opened Luo Feng's stream. With one look he creased his eyebrows. He's not working hard at all, this punk. He's using the training space as a training ground? Not bad. It wasn't just the golden horned beast and Mosha Clansman that were training. Even Luo Feng's main body was constantly absorbing the two's comprehension, infusing it into his own battles, constantly improving and strengthening himself. First building, first level, second level. They all stayed for the full 10 days, all waiting until the end of the countdown before going to kill the last target. And obviously amongst the 1 million geniuses, it wasn't just Luo Feng who did this, there were many geniuses who wanted to use the earlier stages to gain some time and strengthen themselves. Hence, this resulted in Luo Feng not being last. However, it wasn't too far off, he was at the bottom of the 1000th. 60 days later, Luo Feng entered the 7th level of the first tower. The 6th level before actually had the Space Beast song. Luo Feng thought back to the previous level and couldn't help but exclaim. Simultaneously he looked down at the screen on his wrist. First level, 7th level, Bug Clan Mother Nest. Destroying the Bug Clan Mother Nest to obtain 10,000 points, directly teleporting to the first level of the second tower. Bug Clan Mother Nest. In reality, the weakest Bug Clan Mother Nest is comparable to a Sector Lord, with many even comparable to an Undying. The Bug Clan Mother Nests in this tower have their strength reduced by a certain amount to match the training participants. Suggestion: destroy the Bug Clan Mother Nest as soon as possible, the later it is, the more and stronger bugs it will produce. This 7th level space immediately changed, becoming a vast desert. In the center of the green patch there was a huge round ball, with a diameter of about 60 m, there were some bumps on it, at the same time it naturally emitted some poison gas, even the body itself was flowing with poison. Bug Clan Mother Nest. Luo Feng stared. Earth, Shenongjia. Luo Feng thought of one of the 3 great forbidden areas of Earth, that terrifying mysterious ball in Shenongjia. Even Babata forbade him from touching that thing. So that's the Bug Clan Mother Nest? Luo Feng was filled with fear within. Yes, fear. The Bug Clan was one of the pinnacle races in the universe that could compare to humanity. It was a very peculiar race. The Bug Clan's population could be said to be terrifyingly high, or even pitifully low. A Bug Clan Mother Nest could produce trillions of bug soldiers. They relied on the human bug sea tactic to dominate the universe. However, on the other hand, the killing bug soldiers had extremely low intelligence, almost to the point of having no intelligence at all, only instinct. Countless bug soldiers, they would definitely obey the Mother Nest's orders. If the Mother Nest sent them to their deaths, not a single one of them would resist. Within the Bug Clan, only the Mother Nest had the right to be considered a life form with true intelligence. Using the Mother Nest as a unit, the Bug Clan's population was pitifully low. And every Mother Nest was at least Sector Lord level, the strongest Undying level. One Mother Nest, producing countless bug soldiers, was enough to take over a galaxy, even a vast starfield. The Mother Nest is on Earth? Luo Feng felt a chill within. Babata, this bastard. Reality, solar system, Mars. The small golden horned beast suddenly became a stream of energy, swiftly becoming the black-clothed Luo Feng. Babata, what's going on? Luo Feng roared. The golden horned beast was currently universe level 8. It could maintain its consciousness in both reality and virtual universe. What's more, the natural talent, clone, made it so that even if Luo Feng's main body focused on something, he would still need to focus his consciousness. And the clone would still maintain a basic level of consciousness. What? Babata said unhappily. You're still asking? Let me ask you, what's that mysterious ball in Shenongjia? The black-clothed Luo Feng roared angrily. Luo Feng, I've already told you, don't rush. When it's time for you to know, I'll let you know. Babata said, that thing isn't something you can mess with now. That's the Bug Clan Mother Nest. Luo Feng roared, the moment it awakens it will be able to continuously produce large amounts of bug soldiers. When that time comes, countless bug soldiers will swiftly take over the entire Milky Way galaxy. And even spread throughout the entire Black Dragon Mountain star field. This is a calamity, a calamity. The moment it awakens, Earth will be finished. Such a huge risk, you actually hid it from me? Luo Feng was indeed furious. Oh my god. The Zerg race's Mother Nest was on Earth. This was like knowing that there was an atomic bomb under the bed when one was sleeping, and it could explode at any time. Oh, you know. Babata was shocked. Luo Feng suppressed his anger. Speak, what do we do now? The insectoid race was a terrifying existence that stood at the pinnacle of the universe alongside the human race. The existence of any Mother Nest was a calamity-level existence. Hence in the virtual universe network, information regarding the Bug Clan Mother Nest had always been restricted. It definitely wasn't easily released to the public. However, regarding the terror of the Bug Clan, Luo Feng had long known about it. The golden horned beast inherited memories. Back then the fusion took 16 days. The memories were too vast. Luo Feng only organized them a bit and didn't look at them all. As for the Bug Clan mother nest, Luo Feng had only seen the basics back then. There was no picture of the Zerg mother nest in the introduction. The basic introduction was, the core of the Zerg race is the mother nest. The mother nest is a nest built by the queen mother. The queen's body is weak. She has powerful spirit energy, however her body is weak. Hence she builds a strong mother nest. The mother nest is like her armor. The queen can nurture countless Zerg soldiers. The nest she builds according to her will has different shapes and sizes. Back then when Luo Feng was organizing his inherited memories, he had only briefly looked at the basic introduction. At this time he was shocked to discover, there was a Bug Clan mother nest on Earth. Hence he was shocked to carefully look at it. The basic introduction of the Bug Clan mother nest was only a few words. However, the detailed introduction had tens of millions of words and large amounts of pictures. It described in detail the terrifying aspects of the mother nest, the types of Zerg soldiers it nurtures, etc. There were even large amounts of pictures. This made Luo Feng very quickly confirm. The one on Earth was indeed the Bug Clan mother nest. Don't be angry, don't be anxious. What are you worried about? Don't tell me I'll harm your Earth. Babata said. I know you won't, but I want to know what's up with this Bug Clan mother nest. Luo Feng communicated mentally, if you don't explain it clearly, I won't be able to rest easy. Who could rest easy? A thing that could destroy Earth or even the entire Milky Way galaxy at any time, who could rest easy? All right. Babata said helplessly, let me tell you, this Bug Clan mother nest was acquired by your teacher back in the alien battlefield. Teacher? Luo Feng asked, let me ask you, within this mother nest is there a queen? The mother nest was just a nest, while the Zerg queen was a true life form. Because the Zerg queen was very weak, any expert could easily destroy her body. Moreover, the cost of building a nest was very high, so it was almost impossible for the Zerg queen to abandon her nest and build a new one. There is. And it's not dead yet. Babata said. Ah. Luo Feng's expression changed. However, don't worry, it doesn't pose any threat to Earth now. Babata explained, don't worry, you can think of it as sleeping, and it's an eternal slumber. As for the details, once you've trained Soul Imprint to your teacher's level, you'll understand. There won't be any problems, right? Luo Feng felt that it was a ticking time bomb. There won't be any problems. Unless an undying with a soul level even higher than your teacher comes. Babata smiled. That kind of great being, if he wants to destroy Earth, he can do it with a flip of his hand. He wouldn't go through so much trouble to bring that mother nest back to life. Only then did Luo Feng relax, after which he was curious, what is teacher trying to do with this mother nest and not kill it? The Bug Clan mother nest potential is huge. If you can enslave this mother nest like how you enslave humans, and then nurture it well, then your teacher will have a very terrifying power. Just that endless Bug Clan army would be enough to save your teacher's life during that time of death. Babata exclaimed. Luo Feng nodded. The Bug Clan mother nest could nurture tens of millions of bug soldiers. The moment one truly controlled a mother nest, that would be very powerful. Against an endless sea of bugs, even an undying would have a headache. If they weren't so powerful, the Bug Clan wouldn't be one of the pinnacle races. Teacher's ambition is huge. Luo Feng couldn't help but say. Babata said helplessly, but the life form of the mother nest is very strange. It is said to be a pure life form, but its soul is divided into every single insectoid warrior. It can control all the thoughts of the insectoid warriors. Your teacher's slave soul imprint is unable to control it. Before we think of a way, we can only let it sleep forever. Hence we threw it on Earth? Luo Feng said. We can't just throw it on Unimo planet, right? Babata said. Luo Feng was speechless. The genius battle's elimination continued. Over 1 million training spaces, the killing continued. The powerful Bug Clan mother nest, it's been reduced to such a low level. LuoFeng's golden blade immediately sliced open the mother nest. From within flew out a 6 m tall, her entire body white like crystal like a queen. The queen had beautiful transparent butterfly wings, her face was shrouded in mist, it had an extraordinary charm, strange beautiful music resounded, entering everyone's ears. Indeed, the Bug Clan queen that specializes in spirit reading, even her charm is so powerful. At the same time, a sharp spirit energy pierced straight into Luo Feng's consciousness. Rumble. The void pagoda stood tall and unmoving, the spirit energy attack immediately dissipated. Days passed. That beautiful Bug Clan queen thought of many ways to attack Luo Feng, however with her weak body she could only rely on spirit attacks. However, against Luo Feng, who had an incomparably strong consciousness, strong willpower and training in the void pagoda, it was like an ant trying to shake a tree. It couldn't affect him at all. Actually, to be able to kill all the bug soldiers, the queen usually didn't have much of a resistance. The queen's strength was in nurturing an endless amount of different bug soldiers. Countdown 10 days? Luo Feng lowered his head to look at the screen on his wrist. There were still a few minutes until the 10 days were up. He stepped on the dark cloud shuttle, becoming an arc and flying towards the Bug Clan queen that had been hiding in the distance, not daring to mess with Luo Feng. That seemingly weak and pitiful-looking Bug Clan queen looked at Luo Feng with a pair of sad blue eyes. The golden blade pierced through its head. It's still charming. Luo Feng pondered. The first level Bug Clan mother nest isn't strong. It can barely deal with normal star level 9 warriors. After killing all the opponents in the 7th level of the first tower, he was transported to the 2nd tower. What shocked Luo Feng was, The opponents in the second tower were exactly the same as the first. The only difference was, their strengths had risen greatly. The same ferocious beast hairy blood mammoth, the second tower is so much stronger than the first. Then the third and fourth, how terrifying would they be? There's still the fifth, sixth and seventh after that. No wonder the virtual universe company has the confidence to kill everyone here. LuoFeng was shocked. This training was very difficult. The 7 towers had the same targets and numbers, only the strength was different. The first level was filled with ferocious beasts hairy blood mammoths, a total of 10,000 of them. The second level was filled with demon 9-headed pythons, a total of 10,000 of them. The difference between demon and ferocious beasts was, their intellect was extremely high. Just like the monsters on Earth, they were in truth classified as demon beasts. The third level was filled with metallic life form Tua Luo clan warriors, a total of 1,000 of them. The fourth level was filled with universe peculiar life form Tua Wu, a total of 1,000 of them, belonging to a special type of ferocious beast. The fifth level was filled with automaton puppets, a total of 100 of them. The sixth level was filled with the space beast song, a total of 10 of them. The seventh level was filled with the bug clan mother nest, a total of 1. The 7 towers were all arranged like this. However, it was obvious. The targets in the 7 towers were constantly rising in power.